Hi y'all, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, oh let me start that over because I literally forgot my mic. Hi y'all, my name is Shirley. If you're new here, I went to law school. I graduated. I took the bar exam. I passed the bar exam. I started documenting my journey originally on TikTok. Grew up following there, expanded, and now we here. Got a website with free resources, got an Etsy shop with my bar exam outlines. So let's get into it. What are we talking about today? So as you could tell through the title of this video, I want to talk about underconsumption and my anti-consumption tips and tricks because honestly, y'all know if you've ever scrolled on Instagram, on TikTok, there's always some new trend happening. There is always something somebody is trying to sell to you. And personally, I hate advertisements. I have really come to realize how much advertisements are shoved in our faces as Americans, and all the content that we consume for the most part is to get us to buy things that we don't need. And as someone who makes over six figures and is in a very comfortable financial state, I do not overconsume. In fact, as I mentioned on my Instagram, I live way below my means. Currently, I am saving 20% of my income and investing 13. So 33% of my income is budgeted for saving and investing. And I'm here to motivate y'all to get us to stop consuming, especially right now with this economy, especially right now with this administration, with the layoffs of federal workers. I really don't know where we're heading as a country. And so the only thing I could share is like what I'm doing with my money. So I hope this encourages you to really be mindful in your spending. I do think also in an environmental standpoint, we are just consuming so much and generating so much waste. I feel like especially as someone who's Latina, who comes from a working class family and who's like now in this space in her life making over six figures, what do we do with that? What does it mean to be financially stable? Right? Because you could be making over six figures, but how are you spending that? Like, are you drowning yourself in further debt? Are you, and you see how I said that, right? Are you spending way over what you're making? So let's talk about it. I will share some tips and tricks. So I think the first step is really analyzing your budget. Like how much do you make per month? How much of that money is going to rent? How much of that money is going to your savings account? So I do think like you need to have a clear picture on like what is going on your needs bucket, what is going on your wants bucket, what is going on your savings bucket. And then from there you could just budget that money for those categories. And typically the rule of thumb is to invest and save 20% of your income. So if you're doing that, that's great. Also, this is like very generic financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. This is what you see like typically on a Google search, but obviously this doesn't take into account your debt. This doesn't take into account any family responsibilities, right? So I guess that's a preliminary thought to consider. Okay, number one, I have a notes, and if I have a screenshot, I'll put it here. I have a notes app titled Unnecessary Wants or something like that. And if you have an iPhone, you would know you have your notes, whatever, your little notitas. And for me, I have this note where I jot down things that I want, but I know that I don't really need. And for me, I like sit on it. So I have this list and I have the links, whatever, and I could buy these things. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, it's never about not affording it or whatever. but I really give myself at least like a month or two to decide whether this is something that I really, really want and should spend the money on. And these things could range from like $15 to $55. Also, as time passes and I'm seeing these things on my list, I'm like, oh, I didn't need that. Like, why did I even want that? Right. And it just makes you reflect instead of wanting something and like clicking the buy button and that's it. Right. Like I feel like sometimes we're so impulsive with spending. We know we got the money or we know that we could be smart about it, but we just do it anyways. And I feel like for me, this strategy of waiting has really helped me stop impulsively buying things that I don't necessarily need. I ask myself also the following: if I do proceed to buy some of these things on this list, I ask myself if there's replacements for it. So, for example, there's like a wire case on that list, and I simply just use my Beats headphone case to put my wires in, and I found like a replacement. There is typically replacements that you could use. Another example is, I'm trying to think about it. What was another example? Literally just did this recently. Oh, a gym bag. I wanted the base sports all carry all bag. And it's too bad because I can't even get it because they said that they're not putting that in stock anymore. It's gone. But anyways, I had that in my little notes app and I thought about it and I was like waiting for it to get out of stock. And you know what I did? I'm like, I have a Trader Joe's tote bag. Why don't I use that for the gym? No one cares. Like, I don't need no special bag to go to the gym. I could put my shoes in like a mesh bag. So, yeah, there's typically like if you still want this certain item, then ask yourself, is there a replacement already that I have at home? And there usually is. Two, I ask myself, is this item on sale right now? So, for example, when I first started working, I needed a really good book bag for my back. And I got a North Face over 40% off. And that's why I bought it. So like just think about these decisions logically. Another good example of a replacement was my wallet. I needed a good wallet, and then I found a wallet that my sister gave me from Coach, and it's like still pretty good. And I'm using that now. Like, I didn't have to buy a whole new wallet. Like, for what? So, that's just another example. Okay, tip number two: actively not following trends. Oh my gosh. I could like sing this. I could advocate for I could hold a whole campaign for this cuz yo, every time I scroll on my feeds, there's always like a new clothing trend. There's always name brand item that people are getting. There is a new gym shoe that's becoming trendy. And I think it's ridiculous that we've gotten to this point where we have to follow with trends and we have to waste all this money. And this is not to say like later down the road, like I'll buy a Q set or whatever. But as of right now, like I have all that I need. I have two jackets, three purses, one North Face book bag. I have one gym shoe. I have like three work shoes. I was at the gym and I saw this woman with a really cute gym outfit and I saw the brand of it and I looked it up and that the sweatshirt that she had on was $60. There's no way. Like there's no way. Like this is what I'm telling you. As you're following these trends, that money incurs. There's another trend after trend after trend. There's a new Stanley Cup. There's a new, aloe gym set that you need. And that just adds up. And slowly but surely, that lifestyle is creeping up on you. And you're prioritizing that lifestyle over your financial future. So that's why I highly recommend you like see where your budget is and if you have room in your budget to keep up with these trends then I guess go ahead do it. But I feel like for the most part, like most of us are not saving or investing 20% of our incomes and instead we are prioritizing the following of trends and and what it means to be in style. So, yeah, that's my whole little rant. Number three, y'all, I live in New York City, so I could complain all I want. The food eating out, even if it's like if you get an iced coffee every day you go to work, that just adds up. Like it has become unreasonably expensive to eat out, to have lunch. Like I remember back in 2018 or 2016, 2018, 2019, I would go to lunch and I wouldn't spend more than $10 on like a lunch around where I worked. Now I'm spending, you know how much I'm spending on lunch if I was to eat out? Like over $16. It's absolutely ridiculous. When it comes to eating out and food, I try the best to my ability. Like now I know why my mom would say, "Hay comida en la casa," because there is comida en la casa. Pack your lunch before you leave from work. That should be part of your morning routine, like packing your lunch, like looking to see what kind of food. If you got to make like some weird ass sandwich from all the leftovers from your refrigerator, do that. Another thing that I've been doing with my boyfriend in particular, and also my sister at times, I'm in my like weight loss journey. So what I do is like sometimes these portions are so huge and I know I'm not gonna eat all of it in one sitting or there's gonna be leftovers. I order like one meal and I share it with my boyfriend. I share it with my sister. And that's like good enough for two of us. Or kind of just eat only half of what I ordered and then leave the other half for lunch. So I always have leftovers or I'm splitting it with somebody else. So yeah, anything helps, especially in this economy with food prices, with egg prices. It's insane right now. So definitely, hay comida en la casa. There's food in the house. All right. Okay, tip number 4, and I'm sorry if this does not apply. I feel that now more than ever, as a corporate employee, Lord, those benefits, you better take advantage of them. Either if you don't work in corporate, just see what benefits you have because I've been able to get like reimbursements for my gym membership, stipend for my glasses expenses, and there's just so many perks. Like recently I got up to I think $400 in like a gift card from my health insurance program at work. And so like that's money. Like you're leaving money at the door if you're not taking full advantage of your benefits at work. Like look into it. Yo, you know how many times I've emailed my HR person for like, "Oh, hey, like what's the discount? Like do we have yo, I know that lady's sick of me. She's sick of me." And I don't care. You know why? Because this is my benefits. Like you as an employee, you are giving your labor, your time to this company and in return, I'm sorry, my freaking hair is all over. And in return, the company is giving you these benefits as an incentive for you to stay, for them to continue to use your labor. So you better freaking use it. You better freaking go to that HR person and ask them all your questions about like, let's talk about my benefits. What can I use? What can I not use? So I guess I'm done for now, unless I think of anything more. But oh, we're eating out as well, like iced coffee. I don't ever buy my own coffee. I have an espresso coffee machine and it is worth every penny. But also, my job has a really fancy coffee machine. And so there's just no need for me to buy my own coffee. And then I also have like a year worth of free Dunkin' Donut ice or hot medium coffee that I got with my boyfriend, and it's like 4 coupons a month or whatever. So yeah, that's just a little tidbit about of how like strategically I don't waste money on things that I know I don't need. Okay, so at this point you probably are asking yourself like, okay, Shirley, like you sound miserable. Like, what are you spending money on? Like, suena esta caña, as my mom would say. Frankly, I do like live a very fulfilled life. Like, I feel like I have different values and I cherish experiences over materialistic things. I also don't have any name brand things, as you could imagine. Like, I don't have things that are over $200. And if so, they were gifted to me by my sister typically. But I do consume in a way that for me is worth it. And obviously, like, take whatever I say in this video with a grain of salt. If, it's in your budget and you do value like having a cute workout set, you do value like that makes you feel good. Like, who am I to judge you? But this is my channel. So you here listening to my opinions. But anyways, so let's get to like, okay, Shirley. So like, what do you consume? Like, what is important to you? I'll tell you. So for me, what's important is obviously like my necessities, making sure my rent is paid on time, making sure I'm budgeting, making sure I'm investing, I'm saving. Like that's number one. Number two, experiences. Like I love to go out and eat with my family. I love to go out and spoil my sister. Like I love just being with my family members and being able to compartir or take care of most of the bill, when it comes to eating out, or like spoiling my boyfriend if he needs something, or spoiling my sister. Honestly, I feel like I spend most of my money on other people and not me. But for me, like that just makes me feel good because these people, these people, my sister especially and my family have supported me throughout this journey. I would not be here. I would not be making this amount of money if it wasn't for their support. I would not be this financially stable with minimal debt if it wasn't for them. So for me, the way I repay and just like out of the goodness of my own heart, I just splurge on them. And also I've been putting a set amount of money to my parents' savings and, taking care of also most of the bills in my household. I typically do, if there's a bill that comes in, me and my sister split it. But for me, typically, I take 2/3 of it because I know I make much more than her. So it's only fair, it's only equitable. So that's how I consume, like pretty much prioritizing experiences with my family and also taking care of them. Another thing that I consume that I haven't been doing that often, thankfully, but I do value time and comfort. So so if I have to take an Uber, I will take an Uber. But I'm trying to like limit it. It's not that bad, but for me, taking 2 Ubers a month is bad. So you see who I am, but yeah, they're so expensive. They could range from like $50 to $70. Like it's ridiculous. But sometimes I do have a lot of things. I carry a lot of stuff. Like honestly, my next video might be like what's in my bag because I be carrying way too much and I need some tips on how to minimize my bag. What's in my bag. But anyways, I will spend money on an Uber if it's convenient, if it saves me time, comfort. No tengo como tres bags on me and I don't want to be like having 3 bags going home at 8 p.m. Also, it's so cold. Like it's just ridiculous. Like, okay, so we're reaching the end of this video. I do want to say thank you so much for all the support. We are growing and I love it. I literally love that I've been growing slowly. Bug's still growing on TikTok and on Instagram. And I just love to expand this community. I love to provide more insight, more tips, more conversations that are needed in, especially as someone who is Latina, who comes from a working class family. I feel that these conversations are never talked about. Like I've had to figure out what saving and investing is by myself. Um, like I've had to do the research. I've had to come up with, what makes sense for my budget. Yeah, so I hope this helps somehow. And if y'all want like a deep dive of budgeting, saving, like I'm trying to I've been using a spreadsheet, but it's really like it's not the greatest. And so I've been trying to like come up with a better way to like take track of my spending. So hopefully I like make the spreadsheet and I show y'all. But anyways, I love you guys so much. Happy Monday. Let's get it. I'm thinking for the next video, I'll talk about how I stay organized at work because I really do have like this intense organizational system and it has made me super, super efficient at work. And I think it could benefit all of us. So anyways, ciao, los quiero.